Okay. Hi, my name's Matthew Bacon. Uh, I'm doing a Pechka. I, I always say that wrong. I'm pretty bad at pronouncing that. But it's on Animal Kingdom Defenses. First up is the Malaysian exploding ant, which is interesting because it literally blows up. I mean, it's like a kamikaze, if you will. Just kind of like runs out of the little colony and attempts to like protect everyone else by blowing itself up and attacking intruders. The horned lizard is another one who has a fascinating self-defense mechanism. It actually shoots blood from its eye at its target, which disorients them and basically gives them enough time to get away. And then you have the cyanide millipede, which is, I'm not fully sure how it works, but it's harmful to birds and basically small creatures that attempt to eat it by poisoning them. And then you have the stick insect, whose natural ability is to camouflage. Basically, sometimes it even like blows in the wind as if it's like a twig, which is actually pretty cool to have it as like a self defense mechanism, almost a chameleon like, if you will. And then we have the electric eel, which I guess aren't necessarily common, but are still quite useful when it comes to the topic. Self defense. Self defense is the ability to shock things with at least 600 volts. The bombarder beetle is another one with a fascinating self defense. It actually has the ability to spray its enemies or its predator, I guess you could say, from a significant distance with it's like a acid that kind of burns them. And then sea cucumber, it is interesting enough, I guess, but it's not really. Its design is what is considered its self defense. Then you have skunks, of course. I mean, skunks got to go on the list, right? But they have the ability to spray you, and this spray that they put on you, it's like a anal fluid, but it leaves this really nasty odor, and it kind of deters just about any and everyone, including humans, away from it. The possum self defense mechanism is to pretty much play dead and kind of smell that way too, at least to deter its predators from trying to eat it, capture it, however you want to look at it. But I mean, the self defense mechanism itself actually serves its purpose. The flying fish is another one with a great self defense mechanism. It has the ability to glide per se. Uh, it's not a long range of flight or gliding, but it's still quite significant when it comes to being a fish. And then next up, we have the hagfish, which it tends to choke other fishes with slime. It has the ability to slime. Here's what it was: a self-defense mechanism for the hagfish was the ability to actually slime its enemy with enough time, which leaving it enough time to get away. And then you have the potato beetle, which looking here you can see all the little poop that it has stored in there with the in the back of its, I guess, shell per se, which smells really bad and is very poisonous. The boxer crab is a really interesting one. You see, there's like way more words on this than any of the other slides, and that's just because they use a lot of I think it's called mitosis, I believe. But it's basically a cloning process. They actually get these little guys and put on their fingers or their pincers, and they use the cloning process. It's very in depth. Go back and look at it if you want to check it out. The newt is another one with a self self-defense mechanism, which it actually pushes its bones through its skin and creates like spikes. The hairy frog has the ability to actually break its bones, and almost like the newt. However, but instead of pushing them out the sides, they push them out their feet and use them as claws. Not really sure how they get them back in though. And then you have the Fulmer, which has the ability to actually puke on its enemies um, in a projectile format, which is actually quite effective from the few videos that I did watch on the Fulmer. And then you have the Pygmy, which is interesting because it actually makes like this anal poop in the water and then swirls it around to make a cloud and then hides in it, which sounds really gross for a person, but I guess it works for the well. And then the Loris self-defense mechanism, it has like really strong poison glands under its arms. So what it does is rubs its hands under there and kind of like smears it all over itself. So if any predator wanted to eat it or anything of that nature, they'd actually go into like this shock. But thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the time to check out the video. And see you guys another time.